So I feel like something I'm seeing that's very popular and also really sad and discouraging is people who once were walking with the Lord who are now deconstructing their faith. How do you guys minister to people in your lives that may be in that boat?
Yeah. Ooh, that's a loaded question. I've had friends during the pandemic walked away from the faith. We've had friends who become atheists.
Mhm.
We've had friends who deconstructed, and it's tough. One, I think, one, we have to individualize each person. I think a lot of
Right.
times we like to put people in group categories. Everybody who's deconstructing doesn't look like the same, right? Everybody has a story. Everybody has reasons why they're hurt, and I think every situation is unique. But I think one practical way in which we can, minister and relate to them is to lead with our humanity. Because I think a lot of times in the Christian faith, when somebody is deconstructing or struggling or whatever, we want to lead with theology and we forget that no, this Christian life is hard. Like if we're just honest,
Right, right.
Absolutely.
it is hard being a Christian,
For sure.
right? And so like yeah, I'm faithful, and I'm not thinking about leaving the Lord, but I'm like, Lord, I'm tired. I'm tired of people.
Right.
I'm tired of spiritual attacks.
Yeah,
Yes.
there you
I'm
Yep.
go.
tired of trying to wrestle if being a good father, being a good husband, being a good disciple, and my steward and my platform. It's a lot of pressure, right? And so you never know like what somebody is going through that has allowed them to draw away from the faith like that. And I
Right.
think when you talk to people and they don't think that they're talking to some robotic Christian who doesn't have
Yeah.
struggle,
Yeah.
who can relate. That's the reason why, Hebrews 4:14, I love it so much, but it says, seeing now that we have a great high priest, Jesus, the Son of Man, who was unable to sympathize with our weakness because he was tempted in every aspect just as we are, yet without sin. And so it shows us that we have this God who just didn't sit up on his throne and watch us sin our whole life. We have a God who condescended and became a man to empathize with the fact that we're weak. And a lot of times people don't want to talk to Christians who are, when they're deconstructing because they don't feel like we have empathy. They
Yeah.
don't feel like we hear them. They don't feel like we see them. They don't feel like we have compassion. And so even if you're not, saying, oh, I'm thinking about walking away from the faith too, like you can still relate to how hard it is.
Yeah.
So when they do feel like when they are wrestling, when they are thinking about coming back to the faith, you'll be the person they'll come to because they didn't feel judged. They didn't feel, like you didn't see them. And so I think that's one thing that I've tried to do in this season is just relate with people and leave with my humanity and humility.
Can I say something to that?
Yes. Please.
I think a biblical, not saying that what you said wasn't biblical, but I
Yeah.
think a good prescription is what Jude gives us at the end of his letter, where he gives us three ways to approach those who are struggling. Because deconstructing is just a contemporary way to say, I am struggling to believe God.
Hmm.
I'm struggling to make him Lord, and I'm trying to dissect the places in my heart that I'm like, is that tradition? Is that
Right.
Bible? Is
Trying to
that culture? Is
reconcile.
that actually Christ? Like some of it is actually healthy. I think some of it is just another way to make apostasy cute. But, but I think it's levels, right? And so Jude, he says, have mercy on those who doubt. To others, show mercy with fear. To others, snatch them out of the fire. Three different techniques, right?
Yeah.
That Right. means that I need discernment and I need wisdom and I need curiosity. I need to ask questions to know, is this a person who's just doubting and needs mercy? Is this a person who's so close to the fire that they need to be snatched? So I need to be a little bit more More aggressive. Is aggressive, this right? the person that needs mercy, but the kind of mercy that they require, I need to guard my heart. That's why it says, have mercy with fear, hating even the garment stained by the flesh, because I can become so compassionate that I become complicit.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
like it's levels to how we show up with people who are deconstructing, and I think it requires wisdom and curiosity to know what they need.
Yes, that's so good.